Hello, beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. It's a beautiful day in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border in the crown of Maine. And I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are as well. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that life has a vast amount of bliss and a vast amount of happiness for you today and every day. We are getting ready to do another party. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. Last week, our granddaughter turned 5. This weekend, our grandson turns 4. So we've just been like totally partying up on the homestead and doing the family thing. That's why the videos have been short. The videos have also been short because I've been under the weather. I don't know. I got some kind of a nasally, it's cold, but it's not like a cold. It was a throat thing. It was a nasal thing. Last night, it was so bad that I put the man's dinner on the table, and I was like, dude, I can't deal with this. It was 6 o'clock, and I took myself off to bed. I got up at 10 a.m. So I had some very angry birds in the barn. I had some very angry livestock. The cats weren't happy with me, and the dogs didn't care because they're all in the bed with me anyways. They think it's great. They love sleeping in the bed. If you have a homestead and you run your homestead completely on wood heat, here's a tip for you. Get yourself a couple big dogs to sleep with you, because in the middle of the night when that fire gets low, those dogs will keep you nice and toasty warm. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, tomorrow at 8 a.m. on this channel, Coffee with Kerri-Lynn YouTube channel, we are going to be premiering a wonderful video that we created. It is a true crime story. It's the first true crime that I'm doing. There was a true crime that happened on an island in Maine in 2001. And in 2017, when my life was in a lot of turmoil, we went on a vacation to this island. We had no idea. No idea. The island called to us. It just kind of pulled us in. The Airbnb kind of pulled us in. The whole island kind of pulled us in. And we had no idea that this crime had taken place. We were just there trying to decompress from real life. And in the end, it really, truly made me believe very deeply that when you are in a state of emotional upheaval and things could be going really, really wrong, that whether you call them ghosts, whether you call them spirits, whether you call it energy from beyond the grave, can really reach out to you and point you in the right direction, so that although they did not have a happy ending, your situation turned out for the better. And I truly believe that is what happened to us. That video will be premiering tomorrow at 8 a.m. It's the Freaky Friday segments that we do. I love my Freaky Friday shows, as you all know. And if you watch that, you will see video montages of our actual stay on the island. So I'll tell the story. You'll see the video montage of our actual vacation. And it's just, I've been waiting 5.5 years to tell this story. And it just, I couldn't get it. And of course, last week I felt like trash and looked like trash. And that's when it all came out. It was just the right time, I guess that's how to put it. Sometimes when you get impressions of the world around you, and you all know what I'm talking about. If you know, you get the feelings. You know when it's the right time or not the right time to tell the story. And that is just, it's been bubbling in me for 5.5 years, and this week was finally the week, for whatever reason. We don't know, we don't question, it's just, it was time. And so please, if you are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or YouTube Music, or Rumble, come on over to my YouTube channel, Coffee with Kerri-Lynn, and hit the notification bell, and you will be notified when that episode of Freaky Friday goes live in its premiere. Now, eventually, sometime later in the day, we will be putting the episode minus the video, obviously, of the of my vacation on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, and Amazon Music. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, please think about liking and subscribing to either my Rumble channel or my YouTube channel. And if you are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or YouTube Music, think about giving me a 5-star rating and following me on those channels as well. Well, my roots are terrible. I look terrible. If you are a blind viewer, a blind listener, be grateful that you cannot see what I look like today. I've been doing this Grow Old Gracefully thing, and I was really, really into it. So we decided, me and the hair guru, that we were not going to do the roots anymore on my hair and just kind of let them come in naturally. And now I'm having second thoughts. It happens. It absolutely happens. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, in 17 days, I will be 53 years old. People mistake when I start crying about my appearance. People mistake that for vanity, and it is not vanity. As women age, we know that we are going to lose the collagen from our skin, that the roots are going to come in gray, and we do not want to look like 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds when we're in our 50s. We absolutely don't want to do that. We want to allow ourselves to age with grace. So I was using the hairdresser to help conquer this mess. And I don't know. I woke up this morning, I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm so close to going and getting my roots done. I don't know. Probably I won't, but today I'm just having one of those days of extreme, I don't know, insecurity, so to speak. Well, when you age as a woman, you do not want to look like a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old because you want the world to know that you have the wisdom behind you. It is a privilege to age, and a lot of people do not get that privilege, and it is a privilege to age naturally. No Botox, no plastic surgery, just exercise, a good diet. Maybe you take vitamin supplements. I know I do, because it's just, some days are better than others. Some days I'm just on the go, and I live where the cold hurts my face and the sun don't shine all the time. So I'm always taking vitamin D supplements year round, simply because you need the sun. We don't got it. And that's just how it works up here in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border. But no, I don't want to look like I'm 20 forever. I do want to look my age. It is not a vain thing, although women of a certain age get accused of vanity all the time. It is more of a confidence thing. If you can look in the mirror in the privacy of your own home and you are not happy with how things are looking, it eats a little bit at your self-confidence. So when you go out into the real world, you don't hold your head as high. You don't stand in such a posture where you emit grace in the world. You're kind of shrinking a little bit, and you're not so happy with yourself, and you're kind of frowny, and the creases get a little more deep, and we don't want that. So people always accuse me of being vain. It's not. It's a confidence thing. And although my husband tells me several times a day, every day, how beautiful I am, sometimes you just don't feel beautiful. And sometimes you don't want to look beautiful. That's another big thing that people don't understand. When women age, we don't always want to look beautiful. We want to look like the swamp hags that we truly are inside. I tell my husband all the time, you know, why can't I just age and quit being cute? Because when you're cute, you get a lot of attention, and even in the home attention. And it's not always something that you want, you know? Every once in a while, you want your man to go by you and give you the little tweak on the cheek. But then there are days that you just don't want to have it. You are just so damn dead tired, and it's just like, oh, come on. Are you serious? But forever, your man will envision you, ladies, as the woman that he married. On your wedding day, the way you look will be what he sees for the rest of his life when he looks at you. And it's just a fact of it. You're not going to get out of it. And even when you do age, he's still going to be after you. It's just a fact of marriage. It's just how it works. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, let's talk about a 5-can challenge. How are we doing with the 5-can challenge? I hope you guys are doing very well with it. If you have no clue what the 5-can challenge is, we began the 5-can challenge January 1st, 2024. Very simple. Go do your grocery shopping and then buy 5 extra cans of something that your family will like. You don't have the money for 5 extra cans. Put the junk food back on the shelf, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. You don't need the cookies from the store. You don't need the chips. You don't need the pretzels. Put the extra loaf of bread down and get yourself 5 extra cans of something your family will like. Come home, put them at the back of the shelf, and they will be there when there is a snowstorm like today, and you will be able to feed your family in any kind of hardship or catastrophe, whether it's man-made or natural. You'll have food, and it'll be one burden off your mind. We love pantries here at the homestead. We love building pantries. We love taking care of our pantries. Our grandchildren love the pantries. They love grocery shopping at Mima's house. Oh, it's fantastic. When I forget to put something on the table, cook the big old ham dinner. There's a plow going by. When we cook the big old ham dinner, I have a child, my youngest child, and he has the most children. I cook the big old ham dinner. He's a potato guy, and every once in a while he'll come up with the fact that although I've cooked extra potatoes, he wants a can of baked beans. So I send his children down grocery shopping in my pantry, and they go get Daddy a can of baked beans, and we add that to the menu. And those are really the moments that you are very grateful for having a pantry. My grandparents used their basement as a pantry. Whenever you wanted some junk food, you went down in the pantry and grabbed whatever you wanted, whether it was a bag of chips, a box of cookies, or some soda, juice. It was all stored in the basement. Hang on 1 minute. And that was the ambulance going by. Every once in a while, it's a busy day here in our little old town. And things of this nature happen and kind of mess up the broadcast a little bit. So I'm sorry for the ambient noise. Back to the story. My grandmother also kept a candy drawer, which we don't do here on the homestead anymore. Not since we went completely no sugar added in our diet. Now, my grandmother always kept a candy drawer, and all my cousins watching this right now are going, oh my God, I forgot about Chacha's candy drawer. My grandmother was of the philosophy that if you give children just a little bit, they will not be gluttons when they get out in public with their friends, when they get of that age where they're allowed to go out without the parents, and they're in a group of kids, whether it's a birthday party or whether it's hanging out at the roller rink. They will not be drinking gallons of soda, because at my grandmother's you always got soda. It was not the only drink there, but you always got to have some soda and stuff. I was a big Dr. Pepper girl, as were some of my cousins. So my grandmother kept gallons of Dr. Pepper at the house along with her candy drawer. Now, I did a candy drawer for a long time when my kids were growing up, because neither one of my parents did candy drawers. And I did that because I felt like my grandmother felt that when you go out into the world without mom and dad, if you're always told you can't have desserts and you can't have candy and you can't have a bit of soda, that you are going to become a glutton. And as a result, I got kids that don't eat candy. They don't eat sugar. My youngest doesn't even eat birthday cake. He's just like, nah, it's just not a part of because they got to have it growing up, I think. And we weren't such heavy snackers, dessert people, because I had it growing up. So it was not a thing where I had to eat an entire cake or anything like that, although I have been known to. I don't have to. So that is just a part of the perks. I don't keep a candy drawer here on the homestead anymore. I keep a shopping shelf for the children. I do that in the pantry. We give them, before they go home from visiting, we give them their little recyclable Walmart bags and we send them down into the pantry where I have the organic juice bottles and I have all kinds of dried fruit that they can take home. I have little organic bits and pieces, little organic crackers, Annie's organic crackers that they can take home with them. And you got to give the kids a little bit, but not too much. And they take that home. And that helps my son and his wife with their grocery shopping. They're not spending unnecessary money on garbage food. They can just focus their finances on the wholesomeness of their table. So I'm just waiting one more time. We have one more apparatus going through that's going to make some noise. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, we all know I don't have a good studio. I am just broadcasting from the corner of my kitchen where I am relegated to do my podcasting and run my small fiber business. So we have everything and anything in the wintertime that goes by that's very noisy gets picked up on the video. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, keep up on your 5-can challenge. I am noticing at Little China, you know, the Walmart, where we in this area really have no big shopping choices. We have to utilize Walmart. So please don't get at me in the comments. It is just a fact of life. A super Walmart moved in and all the other businesses left. And there you have it. And we have the grocery store, but that's very expensive. And even homesteading, life is expensive. So you got to get things where they are the cheapest. So I have to truck out to the Walmarts. And when you are prepping your pantry, and I know people are just starting, they're at the baby stages of it. Then we have the intermediate people starting prepping their pantry. And then we have the people who have had a pantry for a long time and they're filling in the holes. There are a lot of things to pantry prepping. Maybe we'll get into that a little more next week. But there is your food preps. Then there's your first aid preps. And ladies, you need to prep your cosmetics. It's a thing that I do. I get most of my cosmetic preps done at the $1.25 store because you need to have those items on hand, not for anything but for your self-esteem. And if you have a routine every day and all of a sudden, if you're like me, if my routine strays in the slightest bit on a day, my whole day is out of whack. So while I'm not heavily prepping my cosmetics, I do have a nice little storage bin filled with things that I normally use to feel good as I go through my day. Whether it is face creams or face serums, a little bit of lip gloss, a little bit of eyeshadow, some mascaras. I always have a little extra on hand. And that way there, when my kids come over and we get caught in a snowstorm and they got to sleep over, I've got a lot of stuff that I get to give to my daughter-in-law. And I make her little gift bags every once in a while of cosmetics and body lotions and all that stuff, and send her home with it because it just makes people feel good. And you know, life is expensive, so the kids are under a crunch, so I kind of learn what my daughter-in-law likes and what she doesn't like, and I go get those little extras at the Bath and Body Works or just at the Walmart or at the Dollar Tree. I pick up a little extra, and every once in a while, you know, when she comes over, I just give her a little gift bag to take home, and it just uplifts everybody's spirits. It's a little, I'm thinking about you. You're doing a great job raising my grandchildren. And, you know, thank you. And that's what we do here on the homestead. We try to make everybody's day a little brighter. I don't care how silly I look. I don't care how stupid things sound. If I have made you smile today, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, my day is done and I feel fulfilled. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, carpe diem. Because no one promised you a tomorrow.